I'm going to share with you my favorite top 10 fitness exercises that you guys can do during your pregnancy to stay strong, lean, and stable during your pregnancy. So I am in my third trimester. I am 29 weeks pregnant, and these are the things that I have done to stay fit during my pregnancy. So here are the top 10 exercises that I'd love for you to try. The first one is just a standard activation of my glutes. So I get down on the ground in a good position in the core, and I'm just doing a basic glute bridge. So I'm just lifting up my hips nice and even, feeling some good tension in my glutes, and I'm going to do about 10 to 12 reps. Good belly breathing as I do this. Sometimes I feel the baby moving up and down, but I'm trying to get my glutes activated so I can have a nice workout. So just up and down, about 10 to 12 reps. You can also do an alternating one leg at a time. If you feel like you can keep your hips nice and stable, go nice and slow. And good breathing. All right, the second one I love to do is bird dog. So in my 4-point position, I get onto a tabletop position, and I'm just reaching my opposite arm and opposite leg in each direction. And again, I'm just activating my glute and my shoulder and stabilizing my pelvis and my core. So again, I'm going to do 10 to 12 on this side. You can also add a band to your leg or your arm to add a little bit more resistance. This one I definitely feel some stability and bracing in my core here. And nice breathing. Trying to make sure that your shoulder is in this nice stable position. All right. So there's my little activation. Normally in my first trimester I did a lot of planking and core stabilization, but for in the third trimester I'm going to slow things down a little bit. All right, and then my third thing I like to do for my activation is I can still do a little bit of a lat and side plank, and I'm just going to do some clamshells. So I'm just going to open up my leg, activate my glute med, and just open and close like this. And during my first trimester, I was a little bit more up here, but it's starting to feel a little uncomfortable, so I'm just going to lower it. And again, 10 to 12 reps in here. You can also add a band around your knees if you need a little bit more tension, but this feels good for me. So doing this on both sides. Awesome, and the fourth one is going to be using some weights. So this is something that I have made sure I wanted to maintain my muscle mass so I can keep burning calories. And you know, by doing proper exercises with a little bit of resistance, I think is a good thing. So I'm going to take my 15 pounds and I'm just going to do a row. So in this position where my glutes are out, my head is up, and I'm just going to row. I like to use a little bit more resistance. You can do this with some lighter weights, some 5 pounds or 10 pounds. But for me, just a little bit of weight feels really good. And breathing, just really trying to get some strength and muscle into my back and shoulders. And making sure I'm bracing my core. All right, and making sure when I move around that I'm positioning the weights in a proper position, like so. All right, so the next one I like to do is a reverse lunge with a bicep curl. So I find that the front lunges are quite uncomfortable during pregnancy, so I like to be in a stable position, and I just reverse curl. And as I do these exercises back to back, I am getting a little bit of a cardio workout, just nice and easy, making sure my hips are stable, pumping those biceps. And if you need to take a break, take a break. I just like to push through these light exercises. you can increase the weights or drop the weights down, whatever feels best. All right. All right, the next one I love to do is as you become more pregnant, you might be losing your balance. So I like to hold my balance on one foot, challenge myself, and do a shoulder press. So I try to stay nice and stable with my glutes, and just with nice light weights, shoulder presses. And again, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can just do it without the balance, but I like to challenge myself and give a little balance. And both sides. I'm breathing hard here. It's a good workout. All right, moving on. All right, the next thing I like to do is working my major muscle groups, and I like to use some heavier weights for my hamstrings on the posterior side of my body. So my favorite exercise, again, is on one leg, and I'm just going to do a single leg deadlift with a row. So I'm just dropping the weight down and rowing. And if it's uncomfortable, you can hold on to a chair or balance or drop the weight down. And again, just hinging at the hip, feeling the stretch and contraction in the hamstring and the glute, and rowing. Try to keep it going nice and slow. Breathing. I really like this exercise because it targets one side at a time. You know, I have done a lot of deadlifts this way, but I find it's a little bit too much tension on the lower back and the core during this third trimester. All right, so the next one that I love to do is, again, just alternating between a leg exercise and then an arm exercise, just to give my legs a rest and my upper body a little workout. And I just do some flies. So basically just, again, doing some lateral flies, and then changing the angle, maybe thumbs up, and reverse flies, because, you know, we want to make sure that our shoulders are nice and toned and our triceps don't get too flabby. And again, you can go palms this way as well, reaching back, and you can do 10 to 12 reps in each position, or just a total of 10 to 12 reps. All right. And the next one I love to do is going to be a goblet squat. So I can take a kettlebell, or I can take a weight, and I basically go in a nice wide position. And I'm, again, trying to make sure that my hips and my core is really strong for pushing out the baby, and making sure that I go nice and slow with this one. It's not about lifting heavy weight, but it's about going nice and slow with good posture, and again, engaging my pelvic floor, and nice and slow. And deep breath. And you can really slow this one down. Breathing. You can add a little bit more weight. But making sure during the both phase, going down and up, you're engaging the transverse abdominis, and you're feeling that stability in the hips. So again, 10 to 12 reps of that. All right. And the last one I love to do, so the 10th exercise, is a little bit of triceps and shoulders. So I just take my band that's in the travel roller, and I just do a little bit of tricep pumping, just like this, behind the back. Just pump those triceps, get those lats engaged. And if I want to isolate that, another exercise is just taking the band and just doing some tricep extensions and just pumping those triceps. You can take the band against the shoulder, or you can take it against a band or a rack. You can just wrap it around. All right, there you have it. Those are my top 10 fitness exercises for staying strong, stable, and fit during pregnancy. So give it a try. You can do one round of all 10 exercises, or you can go 1 to 2. Make sure you don't get too tired, but stay fit and stay healthy. See ya.